Good morning, students. Today, let me begin the new lesson Constitution. This lesson is entirely about our Constitution, which is the lengthiest constitution among all the constitutions in the world. It's very unique because it has combined itself the best features of different constitutions of the world and has its own preamble. Our constitution had to cater to the needs of a multicultural, multilingual, secular country like India. Let us know the features now. Secularism. What is secularism? In our country, no religion has been given the status of national religion. India is a secular country where citizens have the liberty to practice any religion they desire. The word secular has been incorporated in the Constitution through the 42nd Amendment in 1976. Socialism is another feature of our Constitution. The goal of our Constitution is to create a social equality and promote welfare of all the people of our nation. Sovereign state is another feature of our Constitution. India is a sovereign country and not under the control of any other country in the world. Neither is a part of any bloc. It has its own foreign policy and administrative mechanism. Ours is a democratic country and securing the happiness of everyone is the responsibility of a government in democracy. We have a central government at Delhi, state governments at various state headquarters and local governments. Responsibility of administration is shared between all the elected bodies. Another most important feature of our constitution is fundamental rights. The rights that the constitution has given to the people are called fundamental rights. No law of any government, central or state, or any organization can deny these rights. Let us learn them in detail. Rights to equality. This right is very essential for the success of democracy. Under this, all citizens are equal socially and economically before the law. All should get equal protection of the law and none should be discriminated on the basis of their caste, religion, gender, or place of birth. Right to freedom is the most important right. Under this right, one can express his own opinion, he can conduct meetings without arms, can establish organizations, can follow any profession, move around in any part of the country, and live in any part of India. Right to freedom of religion enables a person to follow and practice any religion his conscience dictates and propagate it. But use of religious places for political and other activities has been prohibited in the country. Cultural and educational rights protect the interests of religious and linguistic minorities. All citizens have their own language, script, and culture which is to be protected by the government. Right against exploitation is another important fundamental right which has the aim to prevent exploitation of women, children, the poor, and the weak. Employment of children under 14 years of age in mining, then dangerous industries, and explosive industries are punishable under this right. Right to constitutional remedies. This right guarantees the rights of people under Article 32 of the Constitution. Wherever the rights are violated by a person or state government or central government, the citizens may appeal directly to the Supreme Court for their protection. Then issues will be solved by the courts and rights would be restored to the people. Now, single citizenship. Single citizenship is another feature of our Constitution. The Constitution makes provision for single citizenship to promote nationalism. The citizens have the same rights irrespective of their place of birth and residence. Party system is another feature of our Constitution. Political parties are the pillars of democracy. There is multi-party system in India. We have many national parties like BJP, Congress, Communist Party, etc. Fundamental duties and fundamental rights are the two faces of same coin. Rights without duties have no values or significance. But unlike fundamental rights, there is no protection from a court of law with regard to duties. Duties are our responsibilities. Directive principles of state policy has been incorporated with the aim of establishing a welfare state. These principles aim at the holistic development of our country. They are the indication of the growth of our country. Let me conclude the explanation here. We will have a detailed explanation with regard to the remaining features of our Constitution in our next class. Thank you.